Hi, okay, so for the next 14 minutes I'm going to talk about the next two sections of the periodic table of SEO factors from 2019, and they are the sections on trust and the section on links. So how you can work on factors that will improve your trust and how links can affect SEO. If you don't know me, my name's Dixon Jones. I'm the Global Brand Ambassador at Majestic, which is one of the largest link web crawlers on the planet, and you can find me at Dixon Jones or at Majestic. We'll answer all your questions about that as well. So the first of the two sections is trust, and trust comes in three different flavors. There's three things that you can do to try and work on how Google trusts your content. Firstly, you can improve your own authority. Secondly, you can try and increase the engagement with your content, and thirdly, you can manage and enhance your reputation. And of these three, trust is really fed by authority, and the other two are fed off of authority. So if Google can associate you as the authority on a particular subject, then that is going to have a huge advantage. For example, the Bank of England is probably the authority, probably the world authority on UK base rates, interest rates. You know, the Buckingham Palace's official website is probably near enough the authority on the royal household. So if you can make yourself an authority in a given vertical, this should be at the heart of actually any organic strategy. It also should be at the heart of any marketing strategy. Once you've created yourself as an authority, you have a market defensible position, and everything else becomes much more simple in marketing terms and in SEO terms. So once Google or Bing has identified you as an authority on a given topic, the rest is much easier. And that there is a caveat there that you have to stay on topic. You can't become an authority in one thing and then profess to be an authority in another. It starts to dilute your authority overall. So an example, Matt Cutts used to say that the Wisconsin Real Estate Board has a lot of authority but no popularity. There is not necessarily a correlation between authority and popularity. And also, authority comes within context, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later. The second thing about trust is Google is going to trust websites and web content where users engage with that content very well. So visitors should end up spending times on your website and not bouncing, according to the periodic table. And if you think about this, you have to think about the next layer of Google when it becomes an entity engine as much as a search engine, in that if people do bounce when they come and see that content, then Google may think that any data on there could simply be better represented in Google in a featured snippet. In other words, people don't necessarily need to come to your website at all. Featured snippets are a very interesting and double-edged sword in Google because they take your content straight to the search results of Google, but there is no need to click. And here's an interesting paradox for you building up a business. You need to be building up a business, not just getting visitors to your website. So if you can make that content interactive, then that's even better, because it's not so easy for Google to take the content and reproduce it without giving you any credit or any traffic. Engagement in your website is really important for search engine optimization. Then the last one here in trust is reputation. Sites operating the same way, according to the table, carry a lot of weight. That's not necessarily true. It could be argued that reputation, that sites operating the same way for years have become stale and not so interesting. So reputation is measured in lots and lots of different ways. And if you think about ways in which a search engine might be able to get proxies for reputation, some are easy to understand. The idea that reviews If you get reviews that can be verified by a search engine, then that's really useful. So Google My Business is a logical place to try and get your customers to feedback to your customers, to your prospective customers, and also to Google itself, using verified reviews. There are many other verified review sites as well. Trustpilot, Review, TripAdvisor, many others. Not all of them are good. Not all of them are verifiable. And I'm not in a position to say which ones are taken as gospel by Google and which ones are ignored by Google. But I would argue that there's a balance of judgment within the search engines. If they're taking this information in, then they can use reviews to help them understand that you have, or your organization has, a good reputation. Another way of measuring reputation, of course, is if a search engine sees an increase in the market share in brand searches, then that's an indicator that you are gaining in reputation. So of course people will be typing in, I don't know, training shoes, but probably a lot more type in Nike or Adidas or high tech or whatever brand is appropriate. And Google can use those brand terms because they've associated these brands as, experts in those brands, and so they can use that as a proxy for reputation as well. Of course, the last section that can impact reputation is actually the next section that we want to talk about, which is links, because arguably when people link to your content, they are giving a vote for your brand, for your product, for your content. Links have been described by Googlers as one of the biggest factors affecting SEO, and that's backed up by multiple studies. We know that taking away the signal has been tried by Yandex and by Google without success. At least in the past, it's been done without success. So we are, almost every SEO is convinced that links are a very important part of search engine optimization. And there's three areas that you can look at in the periodic table when it comes to improving your link profile. You can have a look at the value of the content that's linking through to you. You can have a look at the anchor text, and I've got an issue with the word anchor text, and we'll talk about that as we go through. And then the quality of the backlink itself, not just its source. So there's some overlap between the VA element and the BA element, but let's go through these and try and bring out how you can improve in these areas. So VA says stands for value, and it suggests that you should seek links from trusted quality websites. I'm going to put a big blue cross over that. I get quite angry at times when people keep on talking about websites when actually they mean quality content or quality pages. The truth of the matter is that you can have any website, a really good website with some really poor pages, and you can have some very small websites that are very high quality in certain areas. So a high quality website does not mean that you're going to get high quality links. For example, YouTube has huge amounts of high quality, and it's one of the most authoritative high value websites in the world. However, just putting up a video and then linking to it in your comments is not going to create much of an impact in your SEO results, because it's not got any links from the homepage of YouTube. There is no relationship between the content that you've put up, user generated content, and the website itself. So getting links from high value or high quality content is probably a better way of saying it than high quality websites. Okay. The second thing I've also got an issue with, which is saying that so it's using the element AC for anchors, and I guess this is a bit like you using the letters ZN or FE for iron. You know, things have metamorphosized over the years. And the truth is that, firstly, the anchor text is this bit in a paragraph of information. So the bit that's, you know, highlighted by the blue underline, and it's the actual words within the link itself, within the text of the link itself. I don't think you should now seek link from pages that use similar keywords. I think that you should seek links from, and certainly not anchor text with similar anchor text necessarily, but you should probably look at least paragraphs or sections of web pages that are relevant to your content. So there is quite a lot of studies. There are quite a lot of studies now that there were quite a lot of studies for many, many years that say that if you're a search engine and you break the content into sections or chunks, then you analyze all of those sections independently, you will get a better idea of the meaning of the content than if you try to take the whole page and analyzed all of that, because the content on that page may be about many different things, and it may be down to sentences, snippets of information, but certainly if you analyze a large amount of content all as one block, then you won't necessarily get the granularity you need. So actually your links probably should be connected with a very specific topic or concept within the content of the page that's linking through to you, not just the anchor text. And then the third thing is that you want, the general rule is the more high quality links, the better. This is an interesting and absolutely true fact. The more high quality links you get, the better. But the interesting challenge here is how you define quality, and there is much more spam on the internet than people like to believe. Unfortunately, if this is a pyramid of all of the links on the internet or all of the pages on the internet, then probably the bottom half is nothing very, very valuable. There's lots and lots of pages in that bottom half, many more than there are in the top half, and then all the links on there are a multiplication of that. So there's a you know, when it comes to the end of it, we think that 99% of links on the internet probably have almost no value whatsoever. We don't always see that because it's not the top of the tip of the iceberg. We only see the tip of the iceberg in the search engine results, so we don't often surface and see the rubbish that's on the internet. But choose a particularly bad search engine or old link directory and click around a few clicks, and you'll start seeing just how much rubbish there is on the internet. So that's my section, and now we're going to move on to the section to the next section of the internet, the user experience. So I'm going to move on to the next speaker. Thank you.